Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
Hey everybody, I'm Michael.
And I'm Andrew. Sorry about that. We had an audio and a video sync delay there where Michael was talking, but his mouth wasn't moving at all, and I think it threw me and John both off, just completely.
Yeah,
it wasn't even like a Japanese movie or whatever. It was just. You just weren't even moving. So your video just froze up there for a second, Michael.
Well, my screen just had the Toy Rewind logo up there, and that was it. I mean, and then finally the cameras came on, and I started talking. So
it's like,
all right. Well, welcome everybody to episode 55 of the Toy Rewind podcast. So we're the Brothers Newland. We're going to talk today about some fun toys. I don't really know exactly where they're all from. We're going to figure all that out, but we're going to talk about the Shogun Warriors today. These things are pretty cool. I think they're pretty cool. They look pretty cool. So hopefully maybe John and Michael will agree with me. I don't know. But before we get into that, what's new with you guys this week? Anything?
No,
same old.
Nothing.
I've been on vacation all week doing nothing.
Michael's been on vacation. Yeah.
You kind of look like me and Andrew.
No, not at all. I thought earlier, so when I asked you, Michael, when the last time you shaved was, I thought you were going to be like, well, I shaved yesterday, but it's been
been a week, over a week.
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
And yeah, that was my thought too, John. Like you shave so often, I would think that your facial hair would grow a little faster.
No.
But that's okay. You got a little bit of a goatee, 5 o'clock goatee there.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
A week later.
Something like that.
Yeah. So let's see. Also, let's see. Michael, you were going to go see Shang-Chi, but you have not seen it, right?
Not yet, no.
Okay. And I know John's been super busy at the restaurant, hasn't had a chance to go see it.
Yep.
So you guys... I don't know when you're going to get to see it, John, but we got to have a conversation about this. It's a good movie.
I did go
when it comes
Saturday.
out on video.
When it comes out on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Saturday, Michael.
So Saturday, I did go to the Arlington diecast show. It's more diecast at that show than in the others in the DFW area, but I ended up spending a little too much money, but found some good stuff. Yeah.
I didn't go anywhere, and I spent a little too much money this week.
I went as a shopper instead of a seller. So yeah.
So you didn't have anything to make up that money, and that was, you said it was the Arlington Diecast show, which was the week after the North Texas Toy Show.
Yeah, I think it's the North Dallas. I think it's North Dallas is what it's called. Yeah. North Dallas Toy Show. That's the big one, and then there's the Dusty Attic show too. That we talk about all the time. But
I thought you were going to the toy show because I'd seen that it was. I'd see some postings about it, and then you told me you were going to the Diecast show, which
I thought it was this weekend. And then when I got to looking at see what weekend it was, it's because the North Dallas show is on the first Saturday, and then the Arlington show is second Saturday. So I missed it by a week, but I got to the diecast show and found some good stuff and filled in some holes in some of my sets and stuff like that. So
it's probably a good thing it wasn't the toy show, because then you probably would have spent more money, and me and John would have been sending you some money.
Yeah, because actually I was looking for a few pops too, and they didn't have any. If they did, I didn't see any pops at this. Most of this, like I said, it's about 95% diecast at this show. So.
Well, talking about
two
pops.
are toys.
Talking about Pops, I actually went hunting Saturday for the first time in, I don't know, since me and you went and met with Joey that day, which was the first time I'd been hunting in years, trying to find a Batman, the Dia de los Muertos Batman at Hot Topic. So I was trying to find it, but our Hot Topic didn't get any, or they were hiding them all in the back. I don't really know. Which is what
hide them.
I think they were. But that's what made me find out that they are moving locations back to the mall. So they moved
that they're moving.
Yeah.
Moved away to move back.
They moved out of the mall like what, 5 years ago, something like that. I don't know, whenever they opened.
It's like 3 or 4 years.
Three or 4 years ago. They moved to the outdoor mall, which is down the street, and then now they're moving back into the mall because they probably aren't getting as much traffic as they were getting at the mall.
Right.
Which
yeah,
I don't think that's going to help. So they're moving. They're not even going to a place where they were originally at, even though that place has just been repainted. Like it looks like a Hot Topic when you see it.
Yeah,
it's just white instead of black. So,
isn't there a store there, or did they shut down?
Where? Oh yeah, no. There's a store. They're going to a different spot. They're going to a different spot in the mall, which is going to be weird to go to the mall and go to a Hot Topic and it be in a different spot.
Yeah, we went to that entertainment store there at the mall. Was that Friday? I think it was, and I picked up. We picked up a few things. Rainey picked up. I picked up some dice. That's what I picked up. Some Goonie dice.
That's where you got those.
Yeah, that's where I got those. And Rainey picked up a couple of Doctor Strange pops. I think the zombie one or something like that, or the mech one. I can't remember which one she picked up.
I go back there and look at their used collection stuff.
Yeah. And then we ended up hitting the GameStop there, and I picked up the new Zack Snyder Justice League Superman, the Desaad, and then I wanted Darkseid, but I couldn't find him. But I found the one where he's sitting on the throne, on his throne. So those are the three I picked up this past week.
That Superman is pretty cool. Out of all the Supermans, that one, I don't know, the black suit, I don't know, it's really cool. I like that one. I ended up with the mayor from Hot Topic. No, sorry, the mayor. Well, not the mayor from Hot Topic. I got it from Hot Topic, but it's the mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas. That's the words I'm trying to think of. And I found they had a whole bunch of the regular ones, and they had 2 chase ones. So that's where his face is flipped. I only got one of the chases, and I got a regular. I left the other chase, and I always hate myself when I do that, because I got home and look at its worth, and I'm like, man, I could have used that extra one to trade for something.
For a trade, yeah.
Yeah, I should have gotten it.
Yeah, I've got a mayor too. He's Mayor McCheese back there.
Yeah, it's a different mayor.
Yeah,
quite a different mayor. So
Mayor McCheese.
Yeah. So John, did you get anything new this week? I don't know. I was trying to think about all this stuff.
I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to really even look at new stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to find you stuff to add to your collection back there. Not that you need it, or not that any of us need it, but
right.
What was that? I sent you that picture of that Beetlejuice. What was that one again that I saw?
That was, hold on.
It was a cool little figure, something different.
No, I actually liked that. It was different. It had the little.
It's Kid Robot.
Yeah, Kid Robot. Okay.
Yeah,
but it's what is the name of the figure?
I had it pulled up. Let's see here. That was the Beetlejuice, and it was the Punny.
Punny.
Yeah, or
Funny.
BHUNNY.
Bunny.
And what this one is it's got the vinyl figure, and then it has a keychain with it that has their hand or paw or something, kind of like a
rabbit's foot.
Yeah, like a lucky
bunny rabbit's foot. So,
yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I almost ordered the Donatello one, but then I realized that I'm gonna want all of them, and they don't have all of them, and it's gonna look weird. Yeah. So it's not one that I think I could add to my collection at this point.
But the Beetlejuice I can add to mine, so I'm gonna look for it. But I want to look for it before.
Yeah, I saw that one. It was at Target in Mansfield, so maybe we'll keep an eye on this Target here in Tyler.
Yeah, I want to see if I can find it before I order it. But I think it would be a cool little collection to these back
Yeah.
here.
If you happen to see one of those turtles, let me know. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm going to lose my fantasy football game this week that I'm trying to beat my boss. More than likely, Matt might listen to this, and Matt, I'm doing everything I can to get my guy to get this touchdown so I can win. But who knows?
He needs a lucky rabbit foot.
He does. So, all right, we do have a fun question this week to chat about, and so what I thought is we'll drop the question now, and then. Oh wait, John, you need time to think. Do you know your answer, John? Michael figured out what his was.
I figured one out to answer.
I mean, yeah, I have one. I mean, it's obvious, but
okay. So go ahead and run through our socials. Where everybody can find us, John.
All right. So where to find us? Check out our website. toyrewindpodcast.com, or you can check us up on crossthestreammedia.com. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Look us up on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. It's all Toy Rewind Pod. And for Facebook and YouTube, it's Toy Rewind Podcast. We stream our toy box showcases when we do them to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We should be doing one here soon with some stuff that we got. And then check out our podcast bingo as you're listening to us to play a little game and let us know if you bingo. I've heard several squares here lately, just in the last 11 minutes of this podcast already. So it's podcastbingo.com/toy rewind. And then we just actually did one, but our collector showcases, with the Geek Together channel on Twitch, we do those and check them out.
Yeah, check them out. You can see all the previous ones over on our YouTube. But be sure you're following us. Follow Geek Together. That's when we drop those, or where we drop those. So, check them out. We do have one that's in the works, trying to get it scheduled. Hopefully, we will have that scheduled. I think that's going to be a pretty big one. A lot of people are going to enjoy it.
John said, we've got a toy box showcase coming up too, because we got these little blind bags that we need to get opened up, and all three of us have ours now.
Yeah.
So
all three of us have them.
Yeah,
we just got to open them. So
yeah, I know.
Hold them all up. What's the front picture on all y'all?
Oh, they're all different.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, wait, no, John, look.
John, yours is backwards.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
They're all different.
So maybe that'll already be done by the time people can hear this, but that is coming. We do have these. We got them at Target. It's a pop culture blind bag. They're purple. They look pretty cool. So maybe we'll get that done soon. So, all right. Before I get too distracted, here's our question. Our fun for all question. If you could remake any movie, what movie would you remake and why? So it was basically just any movie. So what are you guys remaking?
I got a movie that it just popped in my head. It's a movie me and my wife me and Randy went and saw it back in when we were dating. It came out, what was it, 96, 95, 96, somewhere around there. And she really hated it. She slept through the whole thing. So I'd like to remake it to where maybe she would like it a little better, I guess, and we would both enjoy it. I'm talking about Judge Dredd. She's probably dreading me saying that, but
probably it's funny because you said, "Oh, I got one," because I got one that I know Rainey will like. Maybe I can make it to where Rainey will watch it. And I was like, Judge Dredd. It was Judge Dredd. She hates that movie because she just doesn't hold her interest. So,
is that one? That's the one with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, it's got Sylvester Stallone in it, and
I'll make sure I was getting the right one in my head.
Yeah, that's it.
Didn't they remake it though, Michael?
I think they did, or they're going to, or something. I think they already did remake it, but
they remade it. They remade it in 2012 with Carl Urban.
Was it Carl Urban in that one? Okay.
Yeah, I need to watch that one to see if it
maybe you should watch that. Maybe your wish has already come true.
I doubt it. Not unless he's got his machine guns from Thor with Aikman and was it Troy and what was the name?
It's Troy and then it starts with a D.
I don't know.
I don't remember. It was Cowboys.
I just saw
it was Dallas Cowboy names from the 80s, from the 90s. So
Right.
yeah,
Des and Troy.
Des and Troy.
Yeah.
That's
Des
it. Got
and Troy.
Des
It's like I knew it started with
Yeah.
the D. I just saw
Yeah.
something on it.
Yeah, I had to look that up. So,
or one.
All right.
Troy's from the 90s, and then I guess it's Des Bryant from not too long ago. So yeah.
yeah, not too long ago. So, all right, John, what movie you're remaking?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Why
would
would
you remake Little
why
Shop of
would you
Horrors?
even?
I want to see what
utter
we
those
could do
words?
now. I
Mine
love
would
the
be
movie.
to make it better, but why would you remake that? That's a good movie by itself.
Oh no, it's a good movie, but it needs something that would pull in the generation now to watch it because there's so many people that don't watch it. You know, it's kind of like Rocky.
No,
Rocky
Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, you got to have something that, like we all know. I love those shows. You know, I could have said Beetlejuice too, but it's such a good movie to me. But I think they need to extend it and do more. But you know, Little Shop of Horrors. I would like to see what they do, but it would probably become more of a even more gruesome now. Because it would show so much more, and
yeah, I guess
it'd be blood and guts everywhere.
I could say I do. I love that movie. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And
I
I don't know.
love it too.
I like Rick Moranis. He's good.
Yeah, that's
in anything he does.
Rick Moranis hopefully coming back for Ghostbusters. Hopefully there's something happening there. I know he's coming back for the Shrunk Disney. I think it's a Disney Plus series.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is Honey I Shrunk the Kids. So that'll be nice to have him back. So mine is two movies that I want to redo,
Of course.
and it's Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. But the reason I want to redo them, I want to appease Tim Burton and make him him carry on his Batman and Batman Returns into these and see what they could have been, along with making sure Michael Keaton stays and continues the whole thing. So we end up with a nice 4-movie arc instead of like we did with our, I guess it's 3 movies, but like we get with The Dark Knight, you actually get to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
And see how it could have been. So
yeah, that would have been completely different if Michael Keaton and all them were in those other 2 movies continuation.
Now don't get me wrong. I will watch those movies. I like those movies. They're Batman movies. They are fun to watch. I don't like them as much as the other ones. And I would like to see what he would do, like where he could have taken it. And maybe we wouldn't ended up with a third one. Maybe we would have gotten who was actually originally cast as Robin. He's a Wayans brother. Marlon. I think it was Marlon.
I don't remember which one it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was one of the Wayans brothers. Like maybe that would have just been, I don't know, fun to see. So this also may be because right before this I was watching Edward Scissorhands with Bryony. So maybe that's why I want to see it. I don't know. All right. Also, I did want to just mention, because I was just texting with my boss, Matt, about the fact that he got a mention in the podcast because he's going to end up beating me for the week. And he just mentioned that he had a Shogun Warrior.
Oh, cool.
So wow. I'm gonna be like, Matt, I want to see. Do you have any old pictures? I want to see an old picture. Like that would be great to see. So,
yep.
All right. Let's. I think that's it. Is that everything? At the beginning,
I think so.
I don't know why it feels like it's been so long since we've done this. I know we missed a week, but even on top of that, like every week, I always feel like there's something, like it's been so long. So.
Well, we did technically miss a week, but we didn't do an episode last week. We just did the live show last week
with Robbie. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that because Robbie's just he's great. So all right, well, Michael, Professor, are you ready?
I guess so. Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's rewind and get into it.
Okay.
Sorry, you got to remember. There we go.
All right, so we're gonna go back to 1977. Mattel released a line of warrior robots that they imported from Japan, from Bandai. They licensed them from Bandai, and then they're based on these Warrior robots are based on several anime and tokusatsu shows that featured these giant robots. If you don't know what a tokusatsu is,
where have you been?
It's actually a live action film or TV drama that makes heavy use of special effects. Often it's a sci-fi, fantasy, or horror Japanese show. So that's what that is. This line, it came in 3 different sizes. You had a 24-inch plastic size, 3.5-inch die-cast metal, and a 5-inch die-cast metal, which was a little more detailed. So having lost some market share in 1975 to Kenner's $6 Million Man and then Hasbro's 12-inch G.I. Joe, Mattel figured their Big Jim line wasn't big enough. So they started importing these giant robots into the U.S. market. And then over in Japan, these robots were stars of their own cartoons. And then Mattel, when they brought it over here, they didn't want to get bogged down with each one's story because each one was from a different cartoon or anime or show or something. So they didn't want to get bogged down with the story of each of them because they wanted them all in one line. So they bunched them up under one name called Shogun Warriors. It's similar to how I know we talked about this with Transformers. When Hasbro brought Transformers over, you had multiple lines that they brought in from Bandai. It was Bandai as well, and they kind of conglomerated all together into one line, and then made up a whole nother story to go with each with the whole toy line instead of individual ones. So let's see. So the 24-inch line, these were plastic and manufactured by Poppy, which was a subsidiary of Bandai. They were also called Jumbo Machinders. These were the first figures to hit the U.S.
Did you say Machinders? Wait,
Machinders.
That sounds like something Dad would say. Like if he was trying to say the Machinders or something. That just sounds like something he would say. Just
but that's what they called this. What's the name of this 24-inch line? Jumbo Machinders. So the first figures to hit the U.S. were Dragon, Raiden, and then Great Mazinger or Mazinga, which is not a Bazinga but a Mazinga. These had limited action. Pretty much just the shoulders moved, so they didn't have any other articulation. Just like I said, just the shoulders, the arms moved up and down. But they made up with the weapons that came on these things. Most of them were sharp, hard plastic pieces. And each figure had its own unique weapons that were powered by spring mechanisms. Now we did speak about this before, as early as our Star Wars show. Episode 4 with things like this from the late 70s with the Boba Fett figure that got redone so it doesn't shoot the missile. So the features ultimately was the downfall of the line by 1980 due to safety concerns is what it is. So that was with the whole line. Now even the 3.5 and 5-inch lines also had things that would propel off their arms or their fist or something would shoot out. So the 3.5 to 5-inch line arrived in 1978 with Bandai's Shogun line being brought over by Mattel in their they had figures and vehicles in this line, the smaller line. So there was 1978. There was 6 figures that were introduced. You had the Combatra, Dragon, Gaiking, Grandizer, and then the Great Mazinga, and then Poseidon was also released in 78. And then 4 more were added in 1979. You had Danguard, Leopardon, which was in the Japanese toy line. It was part of the Japanese Spider-Man series. So the Leopardon was part of that.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2 others, which was Voltus 5 and then 17, which was also known as Brain 17. So, and then by 1980, the 5-inch line was gone, but the 3.5-inch figures lasted through the 1980. So, going back to the 24-inch line, the Jumbo Machinders, there was five different of these figures of these. So you had Mazinga. He came with 2 swords, lots of missiles that shot from his hand. He had a launching fist. He was actually a comic book hero in Japan, so that's where he came from, the comic books. There was 2 different versions. One came with a detachable brain ship that and then a pointed chest emblem. The brain ship actually came out of his head and flew around. You can fly it around. And then the second version, the brain ship didn't come out of his head. It was still part of his head. And then it was a softer chest logo, so it wasn't as pointy. Guy King, he had 2 shooting missiles in his chest that would launch out with the button in his back. He would hit it and it would shoot it forward. He also had a launching right forearm. Diamos, he features a shooting fist and 2 puffy rockets on his calves due to child safety. This was actually the last to hit the U.S. That's why he was already, by the time he hit the U.S., he was already under the child safety stuff. And Dragon, he had a shuriken launcher, which were actually throwing stars. So you would put the stars in them and press a button, and it would just shoot the stars out. And then he also launches axes from his left arm. So you put it in his little arm, you press the button, and it would shoot the axe across the room or whatever. These axes were often mistaken for He-Man axes as well. They were about the same size as He-Man's. Let's see. Then there was Raydeen. He was actually from the Japanese robot comics. He was from comic books as well. He had a launching left forearm and 5 spring-loaded planes that launched out of his chest. And I looked at this; they actually looked like little airplanes that shot out of his chest, which was kind of weird. I don't know why they didn't have stars or something like that, but it was airplanes. There was a variation of Raydeen that was equipped with a yellow bow, which was actually what his character had in the comic books, was a yellow bow instead of the 2-handed axe that he had. But it was only sold in Europe, so it's a European only version. We get into the 5-inch line. This consisted of 4 die-cast warriors. Had different versions of the 4 were released. Later versions had functionality as features were dropped. The second and third versions are not as valuable. They did the less functionality had to do with the safety concerns. So you had Great Mazinga, Raider, Dragon, and Poseidon that were in that 5-inch line. And then they had a 2-in-1 Shogun Warriors, which were similar to these were some of the first transforming robots to be marketed in the U.S. Although the transformations and alternate modes were lacking, these could be considered predecessors for Transformers or GoBot. So you actually they wouldn't really transform. You can kind of take them apart and reassemble them to be something different. So you had Raydeen. He was a bowman because he had his bow on that one, and he turned into a bird. Guy King was a robot, was a samurai, and he changed into a robot skull. I don't know what skull would do, but that's what he changed into. And then Dangard, he was a fighter, and then he turned into a flying wing, which kind of looked like a flying spaceship or something. Deimos was a samurai swordsman, and then he turned into a rocket launcher. And then Voltus 5, he was a fighting robot, and he turned into a tank. So, and then there was the 3-inch line. This was called the Collector Series Shogun Warriors. They were very basic, no real features on them. I think that if they had any, I think one of them had shooting fists. That was it. So there were 2 different releases in this. Release 1 had Combatro, and then Great Mazinga, Dragon, Grandizer, Guy King, and Poseidon. And then the next year they released 4 more, which was Vanguard, Leopoldon, Voltus 5, and 17. I think I said that earlier on that other one. So many of these figures, the 3-inch figures, were later released in the mini Godikins line, which came out in the early 80s for Bandai. These had no differences other than the stamped. It was stamped with Taiwan instead of Japan, and then they came with metallic type decals. So kind of be careful. If you're collecting these, be careful which ones you get. Like I said, the ones from Taiwan were the later releases from the 80s from Bandai. And then if you get the Japanese, this was the earlier ones for this Shogun Warriors line. So also, Mattel kind of started bringing in vehicles. And if you kind of look at the vehicles, they all have none of them look like they would fit in with this line. They're just kind of oddball looking vehicles. They were inspired. They wanted it because they were inspired by Mego's Micronauts line. They released several crazy vehicles under the Shogun name. Many of these are re-released of Japan sold toys marketed by Toho. Now Toho was the one that owned Godzilla and that line, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Most were from TV shows in Japan called Kyodane and Go Ranger. These had many launching and firing parts. So you had a Vanguard launcher, which was a spaceship. Skyjet was a bird-looking jet. You had the Vertilift. It was a jet with arms that fired projectiles and then had helicopter-type propellers on it. Veritank, it was a tank that looking vehicle with arms and claws on top, kind of like that would kind of reach out and grab things. And then there was the Cargosaur, which was a robotic type dinosaur, kind of looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex maybe. Then you had the Bazolar, which was a Triceratop looking tank. Deimos truck, which was a space vehicle resembling an 18-wheeler type truck, had a truck and a trailer, something you might see like that on the moon or something like that. Then you had Helicopter, was similar to kind of like the Avengers Quinjet, with a small Jeep vehicle that came out of it. That one is actually a pretty cool looking piece there. And then there was a jet car. It was a jet with a front that looks like a Chinese dragon. It's kind of the way it looks like to me. You know, if you're watching a Chinese parade or something, a little dragon that swirls with multiple people underneath it. The front of this looks just like a dragon from one of those.
Yeah.
Then there was Condor, which was a pterodactyl looking jet. Nessar, which was a robot, brontosaur looking one. There was Ridoto, which was a spaceship. Shigkon Jet was a jet fighter. Shigkon Tank was a tank with a drill. And then there was Sky Arrow, which was a jet. And then Labe, I guess how you say that, Liabe. It looked kind of like a flying fortress. That's what it kind of looks like. So that's all the vehicles. I don't know if you got a picture of those, Andrew, to post up there, but
I don't have a picture right now. I'm going to try to find some. So
I got a picture here.
Okay, I couldn't find any really good ones. I was looking, couldn't find any really good ones that I liked to show.
Kind of hard to find pictures of on.
Yeah. So this is most of the vehicles that I said here. Yeah, they're just kind of weird looking. Like most of them are dinosaur looking vehicles, and some of them are like spaceship looking vehicles. I guess they can kind of tie in, but none of the figures that are in the line actually fit in these things or anything like that. They're about the same size as the figures, so I don't know. I guess it's just something that you can just play with your figures side by side. But and they're all weird looking things. Just the imagination of some of these Japanese designers, toy designers back in the 60s and 70s was pretty cool. They just came up with all kinds of stuff. And you can see the detail of some of the dinosaur dragon looking ones, because the Toho stuff was big back in that day with Godzilla and the monsters from that line. You could see some of the influence on some of these with that. So
the interesting thing here is you've got robots that can fly, I assume, and they have vehicles.
Yeah,
it's like we talked about the Superman car at one point. Why does
Superman need a car?
Yeah, he can run faster than almost anybody except for Flash. Like, he can fly. Why does he need a car?
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman, why does she need her jet? She can fly.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand at some point she can't fly, but she lassos I don't know how, but the clouds but why does she need a jet? I don't know.
But going back to Mattel bringing this over and just conglomerating everything into one line, just different. They're pulling from different Japanese toy lines to make one U.S. line, one North American line. They did. We talked about Godzilla in our Godzilla episode. That he was actually when Mattel brought him over, he was inputted into the Shogun Warriors. Although he's not a robot or anything like that, it's the 24-inch one. Actually, I think Godzilla was 19-inch, so he's a little bit shorter than the Shogun Warriors. But he's the one where the tongue would stick out, and then he had rollers on his feet, and he would roll. But you had a little lever on the back, and the tongue. Well, actually, it wasn't really a tongue; it looked like fire coming out of his mouth. It was shaped like a tongue sticking out. So
his fist would shoot off.
Yeah, and he had his fist would shoot too. Then there also had Rodan in this line as well. Mattel brought this. He was a 24-inch. It was kind of like a puppet thing because you can put your hand in his back and make his mouth move open and shut, and his wings would flap. You can get his wings to flap as well. So, but the big selling point of this line was, and they hit it pretty good in 77 when they brought these out, because it was right before Star Wars was coming out, because 77, that Christmas holiday, Star Wars had trouble putting out figures. They just had you buy this cardboard thing, and then later you get shipped the figures. So Star Wars hadn't come out. And so kids that like sci-fi type things, they either had to choose between Shogun Warriors or the Micronauts from Mego. It was kind of what and these were the big ones. Micronauts were small, and I've got a couple over here. They're only a couple inches tall, and they look like marionette puppet type things. But
you picked those up in a blind or in a bag, didn't you?
Yeah,
with a bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
Let me see if I can reach one here. Kick my Transformers. Yeah, they just kind of.
Yeah,
there's a Micronaut there. So that's what kids have. Either that little thing there, or they can get a 24-inch, 2-foot tall robot to play with. And that's actually shot missiles and all kinds of things.
And the projectiles went like they weren't just something they're like.
No,
they actually shot.
There was probably a good reason for these to be taken off.
Yeah, these were before the safety things, and they made sure that when you shot it, it would shoot.
Yeah, it shot
across the room. Yeah, it wouldn't just kind of peter out. It would shoot across the room.
So let's talk about pricing, because I know we have prices. John found them for us. John, what did you tell us? What you found?
So I was kind of researching, and I got into the Sears catalogs, and I kind of finally pulled up one from 1977. It was the Sears Wish Book catalog, and I was kind of just looking through, trying to see if I can find pictures of them, and I actually came across two. and it's the 24-inch Mazinger and Radon. I think I said that right. Not really sure, but they had them in 77 in the catalog for $10.94.
$10.94 for a 24-inch figure.
Yeah,
That's
I'd pay that.
I'd pay that in a heartbeat now, guaranteed. Let's look at inflation. So $10.94 in 1977. That's $49.28 today. Guess what? Still worth it. I'd still pay it.
Yeah, I think they were. 2 foot tall. Come on.
Yeah,
the only downside on those is they're all plastic. It's
Right.
just hollow plastic things. But like I said, you had all the weapons that shot, and it was a big figure. So yeah.
I got Voltron here, who's 16 inches.
Mm-hmm.
I got all 5 pieces. If you put them all 5 together, it was probably about $60 to $70. Now, guaranteed, these are not just hollow plastic.
Right. I was gonna say, and it moves more than just the
It
arms
moves.
going.
It moves a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I will say, you're talking about something that's a little bigger than this guy, and the artwork is pretty cool. I like the figures, the molds and everything they're all different, and it's it's cool.
Yeah, they're all different. The way they look, shapes, and yeah, they're all 24 inches, but like you said, they all look different. Yeah.
I was surprised because I know we started talking about we were going to do this episode, and then I was looking at it, trying to figure out which line it was, and then I saw it was a Mattel, and I was surprised it was a Mattel. It's not. If I looked at this, I wouldn't be like, "Hey, those are Mattel."
Right.
Yeah. But you got to remember that it is actually Bandai that they leased over.
Right.
It's like Transformers are Bandai, but they slapped Hasbro on them when they brought them to the U.S.
Right.
I like. This is a picture of the Combatra Deluxe set box.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one that you've kind of got to put together or whatever. His arms bend, I think his knees bend a little bit too.
Yeah, this one's similar to that Voltron you got, where it has 5 different pieces that put together to make one robot. Yeah.
Yeah, and these are actually, this is a die-cast one too. So
and that's the only one that does that. All the rest of them are all single robots. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually pretty cool. I like this guy. Combining to make a robot. See, and so this is the smaller ones because you combine him, he's only a foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
So he would actually be a little smaller than Voltron over here. But I don't know. And the logo, like everything about this is like 70s and awesome to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's great. So what else do you have on these guys, Michael? Anything else? Is that it?
No, that's basically it. The line there. Like I said, each one, I could have gone a little more into history, but we'd be here forever talking about each one's history because they're all come from different spots. Some were comic books, some were from anime, some were from TV shows, and they all had their own lines in Japan. And like I said, Mattel went and picked and choose these certain ones and said, we're just going to put these all in one group, sell them as Shogun Warriors. So,
which I think is kind of cool. I don't know. These are just the fact that they're still doing it. Let's talk about that. Let's move on into today and how
this is
doing things.
Something. Yeah. We had already decided to talk about this. We had this lined up and everything for talk about this lineup. And then something pops up that I think Andrew's about to show up.
Yes. So this is just one of them. I'll scroll up here. There's the two of them. So you see the black one, you see the gold and black one. These are Skeletor, and they are it's Mattel, and there's Shogun Masters. What they've done, and there's a colored one version of Skeletor too. I thought I had the link up, but
it was the Skeletor colors, the blue and purple colors.
Normal colors, but these went on sale earlier this week. I wish I would have gotten one, but for $300, I don't know. Here's a picture of the regular one. So, and you can see the size of this guy. Like he's a good size figure.
Mm-hmm.
works well with these originals that they've got here in this photo.
Yeah, he's got the Skeletor and the 2 originals next to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is just amazing that they're still doing these. Like, and I've heard that there's others that are kind of being mentioned that could be coming.
When they started this Mattel Creations, I kind of started looking into it with the Hot Wheels side of it and Matchbox side, and they've got some pretty cool things coming down the line with this Mattel Creations. They're kind of mixing in some old stuff like this with new stuff.
Lots of new.
Although Masters of the Universe is older as well, but they're kind of mixing them and coming up with a new line.
Yeah,
and Masters of the Universe has been all the new re-releases here lately has come back to the forefront of pop culture again. So.
The other side of this that I would like to see in a version of this, and I think it would work so well together, and I know Hasbro has their own figure for this, but a Sentinel from X-Men. This is like perfect for a Sentinel. You put it in those colors and everything. Now Hasbro has their own big one that's from the Legends series. And I believe that's the one that Jeremy from the SDS guys backed. And if it is, it's like they're huge. They're like 26 inches. I can't wait to see a picture of those. But that Sentinel would be great for this. Just the line, I think it works. So, all right, let's take a look at our rankings. We do need to rank these guys. Just got to get the window to where it'll share here. Here we go. Oh, so let's look at the last thing that we ranked, which was Golden Girl and the Guardians of the Galaxy. No, sorry. Golden Girl and the Guardians of the Gemstones, not Guardians of the Galaxy. So
I don't think Star-Lord take too kindly of being called Golden Girl. So
Right.
I mean, if Star-Lord was hanging out with Betty White, he might have a different.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Might be a little different. So those are we rank those way low because, I think that would have been better if they would have just made the castle or the fortress and something better. So
yeah,
I kind of liked that. I thought it was cool, but not quite cool enough. So, all right, where do you guys rank these at, Michael?
I like these. Let's see, where do I want to?
I just automatically scrolled up to the top so you can look at your top 10 because that's why.
Yeah, I think I'd place them at number 7 there, running the Thundercats.
All right, John.
Wow. I was going to say right under Thundercats too because that's seems to be. I think I'd put them right underneath them. Which would be
at number 7.
Number 7.
I'm going number 8 because I'm keeping my Raggedy Ann and Andy up there. But right underneath Thundercats, but also underneath Raggedy Ann and Andy. Because I think these are cool. I think we obviously didn't have any of these. So we're not ranking them that way. I want to remind everybody, we're not ranking these things based off of, our love for different things is going to go into play. But because we didn't have everything, we look at
and these were around for 4 years. And actually, I was born in 1977, so it was, and by the time with all the safety and stuff, taking away the weapons on them, it was just the downfall of the line. So why sell things that was meant to shoot projectiles and you can't do it? So by 1980, it went away.
That's the best part about
last year. Yeah, so 1980 was the last year, and by the time I got old enough to play with some big toys like that, it was already gone. So
you had trucks to play with.
Yeah. So, but it's just, I would like to have probably played with these if they stayed around a little longer. But and if they had another thing that would have made them even more popular is if the U.S. had like a cartoon version of it or whatever, or if they did bring over some of the lore and stuff of these figures from Japan, but it would have been so much confusing because they're all from different aspects. and it would have been hard. They'd have to come up with their own storyline for them.
Yeah, I think they would have had to like redo these like lore and stuff. Like if they had a good show or something behind it, kind of like they did with Power Rangers. Like you take part of what is there from over there and bring it over, but then you've got to add your own little thing to it. So like they did with Power Rangers. So, but yeah, these are actually cool little figures, or I guess cool big figures, you know. Just
well, most of them were little, but they had the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I would want I think I would want a large one.
And even by the time Star Wars started showing up more in shelves in '78, you know, they had the 3.5 to 5 inch line that would fit in pretty good with your Star Wars figures, you know.
Yeah.
And kind of space robots with your droids or whatever, you know. So
yeah, I just happen to have enough little figures. I would want some larger ones to go to mix in, you know, and everything. So all right. Well, that's I think that's a pretty good episode about Shogun Warriors. So I think we're good to wrap. John, you want to let everybody know where they can find us again before I go through all the other shout outs?
All right. So you can check us out on our website at toyrewindpodcast.com, or you can check us out at our crossthestreamsmedia.com with them. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Look us up on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. It's all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube, Toy Rewind Podcast. And then just keep up with all of our lives and stuff as we do stuff, opening up stuff, doing our collector showcases with the Geek Together channel. And then, of course, check out the podcast the podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind and play a little bingo while you're listening to us.
Yep, play some bingo. John mentioned Cross the Streams Media there with part of our partnership that we have with them. So go check out crossthestreamsmedia.com and you can listen to all of our podcasts there, along with all of our social links, all the different things. You can leave us a review. You can send us a voice message. By the way, I sent a voice message to the Dorksmen the other day, and it was an angry voice message because I was listening to them, and Nate was going to say something about hockey, and Joey cut him off, and he never got around to say it. And I sent him a voice message. I was like, "Don't ever cut Nate off if he's talking about hockey." Like, or I told him I was going to cut them off. Like, I will make sure they disappear. Nobody's going to know. So, you can do that. You can send us voice messages. Let us know what toys you'd want us to talk about or anything like that. So check it out there. While you're there, you can check out the Dorksmen, the STS guys, Secondary Heroes, Three Beers and a Mic, the Movie Gap podcast, the Dan Aykroyd podcast, the Burt Reynolds and Charles Bronson podcast, Front Row Negative, The Art of the Boar, and Beering Ain't Easy. Lots of good stuff there. I've been listening to the Movie Gap a lot lately. There's a lot there to catch up on. So, and I've just been henpecking, getting like episodes that I've seen the movies and things, and just listening. It's a lot of fun. Those guys, they're pretty crazy. So I've been enjoying that one.
I've been stuck listening to the Figure Booth is who I've been listening to, and they're not on Cross the Streams, but it's Nate, who is on STS guys as the Figure Booth with Prime to the First Josh there, and that's pretty good if you're a figure guy. They talk about about figure photography as well. That's what Nate does. Josh builds little dioramas and stuff as well. But they talk about different figure lines, NECA and Mezco and the G.I. Joe, the Hasbro line and stuff like that. The Marvel Legends and stuff. But to me, all that kind of translates into the diecast side of things too, because everything that they have issues with, I see it on the diecast side too. So, but they're a good listen to. Do a really good job. Like I said, Nate is also part of the STS guys, which is also part of Cross the Streams Media. So they're really good. I've listened to is it Burt Reynolds?
The Burt Reynolds, Charles
Bronson one. I've listened to a couple of the Burt Reynolds ones where they talk about
Yeah.
And it's just movies they talk about that have those actors in them. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
I'm just so behind on podcasts. I've been like, I try to add something in and it's hard to do. Yeah. I know John's behind also.
I'm way behind.
I've
I'm not
been
able to say what
keeping
I've been
up.
listening to.
I've been keeping up. I'm a little behind on a couple of them because they talked about Shang-Chi and I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet. So as soon as I watch that, I'll catch up with those. So
yeah. So, and that's when I'm not caught up with something, I try and that puts me behind. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. I don't,
So.
I kind of want to go into, and I don't know much about Shang-Chi. I'm going into it kind of blind, not knowing much about it. So
besides watching the first trailer to kind of get an idea of what it was about,
I think that's all I've seen is that first trailer.
That's all I saw going into it, and I'd heard that it was a good movie.
Yeah.
So I totally recommend it. It's a great movie.
And I think I mentioned you, Andrew, and John might have been there. That it reminds me of Black Panther. You know, they going in, and I'm hearing great reviews about it, but it's a movie and character that nobody really knows about, and it wasn't really high on everybody's list, but just as soon as some people started watching it, they started getting really good reviews and so this is a great movie, and it kept building and building and building. And you know how big Black Panther got, so it's an awesome movie. I love Black Panther. So
and there's a lot of good like throw-ins with Shang-Chi as like some of the actors that were in older Japanese movies, Chinese movies and stuff, and did that fighting, and there's scenes where they kind of meet up again, and it's the same kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
And that's not even like spoilers. It's just things that they threw in to kind of throw back to older movies that have nothing to do with Marvel or anything like that. It's just kind of fun
just
stuff.
those kung fu movies from the 60s and 70s, you know.
Yeah, and I didn't even know about some of those until I listened to the SDS guys mentioned it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So the movie's great. Go see it. You get a chance. We went and saw it. It was weird to be in a theater, to be honest. Like
I went and saw Black Widow in the theaters. Black Widow. We saw Black Widow in the theaters, and it was just us and like 6 other people in the whole theater. So
yeah, that's not happening for Shang-Chi, Michael. If you go see it in theater, it's going to be.
We usually go early morning. We're usually there before lunchtime and watch it. So by the time we're getting out at lunch, and we try not to go during busy times.
All right. Well, we need to wrap it up. So let's. Anything else you guys want to talk about Shogun Warriors?
No, it's pretty good, pretty cool line. If you can find some of these in decent shape, the big 24-inch line ones. If you're a collector or whatever, if you can find one for a good price, I'd pick it up just because it's pretty cool.
I've been
hard to find.
Yeah.
So and these actually got played with quite a bit, so it's kind of hard to find one that's in good shape.
John, next time we do an episode that has names like this, remind me we need to bring somebody on to help Michael with how to pronounce things. You know, just to make sure we get things right. You know,
since these Japanese names is I'm from East Texas. I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we get everything right. I don't want to upset anything because we say something wrong or anything like that. So So all right, well then this has been episode 55.
55.
Yes, 55. We talked about Shogun Warriors. It was a good episode. Lots of fun stuff here. So
55. Okay.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Are you done? All right. I had a lot of fun with this. So hopefully you do too. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. We have a lot of things on the list, but we also want to do some things that you guys want to hear. So hit us up on our social medias. And on behalf
if you
of
miss our toy cat, or if you miss our toy box showcase, you can always go back and watch it on YouTube.
Yep. Go check that out on YouTube. So, all right. Well, on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at the Toy Rewind Podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind Podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.